What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stevie the Black. That's STEVEE the Black. I'm back, and I'm here to give you my Monday Night Raw review today. The go home show before Survivor Series is Sunday. How was the show? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it okay? Let's break it down and find out. Raw kicks off with Stephanie McFoley in the ring. They're talking about Survivor Series. They're talking about how basically everyone needs to work together and they need to destroy Team SmackDown so that way Team Raw can be the superior brand, and after they don't win, there's going to be severe consequences. You can take it as you want it, but you know, she could be talking about firing or maybe just being punished or whatever like that, but we'll see. So I gave that part a C. It was alright. I mean, whatever. Oh yeah, they also make a couple of matches for later on tonight, so there's that. Next, for the first match is Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns taking on Sheamus and Cesaro. The match was okay. It was just obviously both teams were arguing with each other because all of them could not get along. But Roman Reigns about to go for the spear for the win. Kevin Owens tags himself in. They argue. Kevin Owens gets hit with the bro kick. Reigns hits Sheamus with a spear. Puts Owens on top. 1, 2, 3. Match is over, and they argue, and that's it. So that was a match. Again, it was good for what it was. It was C. Next, we had Sami Zayn versus Bo Dallas. And just a quick match to give Sami Zayn some momentum. Remember, Sami Zayn will be taking on Dolph Ziggler or The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship at Survivor Series this Sunday. I'll express my displeasure of the whole Intercontinental Championship and Cruiserweight Championship switching brands. So I'll let you know how I feel about that. But right now, I'll save it for the pay-per-view review. So that way it'll be a little bit longer and stuff like that. All right. So next we had the New Day taking on Rollins, Braun Strowman, and Chris Jericho. First of all, man, I still love watching Chris Jericho, man. The stuff he said at the end of the show, funny. The stuff he was saying with the scarf, man, and I give you the gift of Jericho. Or the scarf of Jericho, and he was all like, "Try it on, man." It's just great, man. It's just great stuff, and it's funny stuff, man. Jericho, I definitely look forward to seeing him every week on Monday Night Raw, and it'll be sad when he goes or retires or whatever like that. But it's just great seeing the stuff that he does right now, bro. Anyway, as for the match itself, the match was pretty standard. It was good. It was all right till Braun Strowman got in there. Strowman was doing some stuff, and when those three were working together as a team, talking about Strowman and them, they looked dangerous, man. And I'm telling you, they just look flat out. So, Strowman gets the pin, and they looked really good. So I gave the match a B after Jericho and Rollins were having a little bickering. So Rollins pedigreed him, and that was it. Next, we had Sin Cara versus Brian Kendrick. I guess because Sin Cara and Kalisto used to be tag team partners, I'll just take up your tag team partner. Again, the match was a C. Nothing to brag about. Nothing to go, oh my god, it was gris. Oh my god, this was horrible. Just standard match. C. Next, we had the Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar segment. That was an A because just Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, man. First of all, we all know, except for little kids, but any of us with a brain who's been watching wrestling for a long time like I have, you all know Brock Lesnar is going to win this match. Like, there's no way that Goldberg is going to win. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, they're always talking about, oh, the guy who's going to beat Brock Lesnar is the guy. Remember, he's going to be the one who beat the one in 23-1 or whatever like that. So it's got to be a big deal. And Goldberg coming back, as exciting as the match is, and them chanting Goldberg this, Goldberg that, them chanting that, they finally got the response. The WWE got the response they wanted. But, I mean, they're chanting his name because they know he's going to lose a match. And obviously they'll be doing it at Survivor Series. And obviously that match is going to last. But they're going to be chanting. And obviously that we all know Goldberg's going to lose. Like, I don't know if this is Goldberg's last match. I think WWE will try to get him one last time for WrestleMania. Which I think Goldberg should consider. I mean, who has their last match at Survivor Series? Why not have it at WrestleMania? Unless you got to retire. Right? Excuse me, I don't know what that was. But the whole Lesnar getting under Heyman getting under Goldberg's skin, talking about his family, and the one where he said Brock Lesnar's gonna beat you up so bad that You're gonna be so unrecognizable that your son's gonna call Brock Lesnar daddy, and I was like, oh snap. Man. Throat's hurting, man. I'm gonna need something to drink. But yeah, that segment was good. Obviously, I thought Brock was gonna get in the ring and they have a little scuffle, but it was not to be. And I'm thinking, wait. They let the Undertaker in this man scuffle. They let John Cena in this man scuffle. They let this man in Triple H scuffle. This man in Dean Ambrose scuffle. Roman Reigns scuffle. Seth Rollins scuffle. But they don't let him and Goldberg scuffle? Like, come on now. Just let get a couple of hits in and then Goldberg runs out or whatever like that. I'm not saying hit a spear or a jackhammer, but I'm saying get a couple punches in, but whatever. So, but other than that was the thing. Next was Nia Jax and Alicia Fox taking on Charlotte and Sasha Banks. I didn't watch this match, not because I didn't want to, but because my dad skipped through it, so they get a chance to see it, but maybe it was a good match, maybe not, so who knows. All I know is that probably Alicia Fox and Sasha Banks were arguing with each other throughout the whole entire match, which was pretty much the theme of all the tag team captains or whatever like that. Hopefully it's not like that on SmackDown today. Then we have Enzo and Big Cass in the club taking on the Shining Stars and the Golden Truth. I think the Golden Truth left them behind. I'm not sure on that, but I do know there was some tension, obviously, because they took their spots. I would be mad. I would have even showed up to the match, bro. I would be like, nah, you on your own, bro. But whatever. Enzo and Cass in the club. The club hits the Magic Killer. They tag in Enzo. And they're like, bro, hit your move, man. Hit your move. And for whatever reason, Enzo was taking so long. Like, that man could have been jumped, but he was taking forever. And then Luke Gallows pinned whoever was on the floor. I don't remember who it was. And they teased and made fun of him. Was like, we tricked you thinking you was going to hit your move. Yeah, right. And then they walked out. So, a little bit of tease, but it was kind of fun. And then finally, we had the Survivor Series Showdown. Best way. Couldn't think of a better way to end the show with Shane McMahon coming out there. And I had a feeling that Stephanie was going to send the Survivor Series team out there. Still don't like the fact that Shane's in the match. I think they should have kept Baron Corbin in there. I would love to have seen Baron Corbin taking on Braun Strowman. Just like I love the interaction between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. Bray going, Bray, how could you do this to me? You abandoned your brothers. And now, me and Randy, we're going to save the monster that I created. And everything like that. I thought that was fun. I don't know what's going to go down. I don't know if Bray and Braun are actually going to fight. Or Braun would just be like, do it! And then Braun just walked out the match or whatever like that because of respect for Bray or whatever. Like, I don't know. But I know that man ain't getting pinned or submitted. And it's not going to be like with Rusev when he goes through a table and gets counted out. So he might just walk out the match. So, because remember he did say a couple weeks ago, I'm on Team Braun. So, hint, maybe. I don't know. But obviously, also, Seth Rollins hinting that him and Roman Reigns are going to work well together. He's like, you don't want me and Roman working together because when we work together, we're dangerous and everything like that. We used to be the Shield and we were tag team champions with each other and that. So I thought that was really interesting. I thought Dean was going to say something about it. And then they just started fighting and broke out. And Shane taking out Strowman was a pretty cool thing to see. And AJ and Kevin Owens going at it and everything like that. And they're calling this pay-per-view fantasy warfare coming real or coming alive or something like that. Half these matches we've already seen, except everything with the Shield and we've already seen Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles before. Kevin Owens versus Jericho versus AJ and everything like. We've already seen all that. It's just, I guess, I don't know. Maybe Survivor Series makes it feel different. I don't know, but I am looking forward to that match, and I'm looking forward now to the Lesnar Goldberg match, even though we all know Lesnar's going to win. So, other than that, that was pretty much Raw. So, Raw ended on a good note. I'm going to have to give Raw a... I'm going to give Raw a 7.5 out of 10. Wasn't a bad way to end Raw, especially what went on after. I know some people probably didn't like it that much, but And me as a wrestling fan, I know that it's not, real and everything like that, and everything that goes on, it's all scripted. But sometimes WWE can fool you because in the state of the WWE universe or whatever like that, after Raw went on there on the WWE network, they were having I guess a debate or whatever to talk about Survivor Series. Not the debate so much, but they were just talking and how things kind of felt like you're getting personal. Like, remember a couple weeks ago or months ago when it was Daniel Bryan in the Miz and we weren't sure, oh snap, is that real or is that fake? Or like, was that part of the story? Like, that's what that felt like. Like, the fact that Daniel Bryan said, oh yeah, I didn't want this job, I just want to still wrestle, but I love the fact that I do it. And Mick Foley going talking about, yeah, I wasn't under contract, you have to do this job, not me, I had a choice and everything. And Bryan bringing up, TNA and everything like that. They don't speak about TNA. So saying stuff like that, fooling people, I think probably some of it probably was real. And it's just the way they execute it makes you feel good, And that brings me into this next topic. Last Friday, I can't believe I didn't see this, but I don't really watch his show. There's a guy named Collins. He has a show or something like that. If you go on FS1 and go to Undisputed, the show right after that is a dude named Colin Shepard or Colin whatever. He has his own show. And he was talking last Friday about how WWE is fake, and he was basically bashing on WWE. See, that's what you call a hater. People, oh, the WWE don't know how to create stars. Yes, WWE has its problem. Yes, they rely on old stars, I guess, to bring the ratings up. But that's what wrestling is. Wrestling is about that nostalgia effect that when they're gone, yeah, we miss them. And we love it when The Rock comes back. We love it when Taker and Lesnar and Goldberg come back. We love to see Triple H fight. And we loved it when Sting came. And we loved it. But we also love Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles and John Cena. We love those guys too. But, I mean, yeah, they rely on the older guys sometimes. A little bit too much, I will admit. But, again, wrestling's a story. Wrestling is Wrestling is a story. Wrestling is it's fun. It's entertainment. It's not supposed... I mean, you're comparing something that's real and dangerous as MMA to something that's scripted in a story. Like, that's not a comparison. Like, I understand wrestling was big in the 90s and everyone was talking about wrestling and the attitude there, but people have to remember, and people are all mad, oh, WWE needs to go back to that time and they need to do things that way, and that's when wrestling was good and everything. People need to remember, first of all, that would backtrack everything, especially with the Divas. Because you remember the Divas were taking off their clothes and it was all about them being sexy and not about them actually wrestling. Now we have that with the women. Women are main eventing Raw and they're main eventing pay-per-views and being inside Hell in a Cell. You want to go back to them just stripping off their clothes and being sexy and walking around and not really doing anything and have 2-3 minute matches? That's what you want? Or you actually want women who can wrestle? See, people need to understand and they need to remember that WWE only went PG TV 14 or whatever like that. They only went that way to compete with WCW to get their ratings back on their side. Because remember, WCW was beating them 84 weeks straight, and they had to do something. So they created Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, The Undertaker, DX. They did what they had to do to bring you back over. And yet, it's not the same way, but again, they did what they had to do. And since they did that, there's no need, and since they won, there's no need to go back to that. Like, there's really no need. So I say all that to say this: Colin, if you don't know what you're talking about, then don't say anything. That's just flat out straight it. I'm not trying to start nothing. I'm just saying you don't watch wrestling, so you obviously don't like it. So there's no need to say, oh yeah, UFC is way better than boxing. It's destroying boxing. It's destroying wrestling. Those are two completely different sports. The one's in the octagon, another one's in the ring. If you want to compare that in boxing, that's still not right, because that's still real, I guess, in a way, and wrestling's not real. But see, here's the thing. Wrestling can be just as dangerous. We lost Eddie Guerrero. We lost Chavo Guerrero. Heck, Vader, if y'all haven't heard the news, Vader, because he has some kind of disease or something with his heart, he only has 2 years left to live. Like, what the heck? Like, wrestling does this stuff to people. Like, people die from concussions and just as bad as football. And you love football, and people and the Rays are declining on that. Even maybe for different reasons than from WWE, but still. So again, don't talk about something you don't understand. Just stick to what you do. UFC, boxing, football, basketball, baseball, hockey. Stick to that. Leave wrestling out of it, okay? Wrestling has evolved. And yeah, maybe wrestling isn't as big as it once was, but who cares? Again, that's posing the question, why do you watch wrestling? Wrestling's fake. Half of everything on TV is fake. Heck, even people say the NFL and the NBA are rigged. I'm not saying that's true, but I'm saying most of the things on TV are fake. So you can't say, why do you watch it? It's fake, or there's no need. And yeah, MMA is kicking WWE's butt, and boxing, there's no need for you to even go and watch that junk. Like, don't even do that. Like, for real. Oh, man, I haven't felt this way about wrestling in a minute, bro. But this Survivor Series thing's getting me pumped up. I'm excited to see Edge and The Undertaker and Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz tonight on SmackDown Live, bro. It's exciting. I'm ready to see it, bro. Hopefully it's good. And with everything that's going on, it's the 900th episode. So maybe I'm thinking sometime next year. I mean, because we still got a couple of SmackDowns to go on this one. And then maybe by next year, maybe even early year after, we might hit episode 1000. And that's going to be a big episode. Hopefully SmackDown don't go to 3 hours, because the way SmackDown is now, you keep it that way. That's why it's been beating Raw. Like, seriously, that's why. If Raw was 2 hours, it'd probably be more even competition. And I'm not saying I don't like Raw being 3 hours. I love Raw being 3 hours. Don't get me started. Don't get me saying I'm wrong, because I like Raw being 3 hours. But obviously Vince likes it that way. And until Vince is dead, or until Vince, somehow gets his mind changed, it's going to stay 3 hours. So that's pretty much been the video for today. Come back tomorrow for the SmackDown Live review, and for the NFL, my Eagles versus Seahawks, where I break it down and try and come up with the game plan to beat these unstoppable monsters, because that's what they feel like. Until next time, and if you're not down with that, I've just got 2 words for you. Peace out.